Hey again, Dr. Flight. It's good to be in contact with each of you and to say hi. So this lecture is a continuation of something called facilitation planning. This lecture, though, will deal with something called occasional strategies, and the wording is a little weird in the terminology, maybe, but the idea here is that we want to create or we want to enhance the opportunities that a client or the market has to use our product or service. So we want to look for advantageous occasions to introduce our product. And when an occasion occurs, we want to be the solution for our market in order to be able to solve a problem that they have. So when we talk about occasional strategies, what we're thinking about is how we can prepare ourselves to present our product or our service at the occasion or at the time when the marketplace wants it or needs it. So that's the idea of occasional strategies. And again, its wording is a little quirky here, but that's what we're going to talk about. So again, look forward to any comments and have a good listen. All right, so we want to talk a little bit more about facilitation. And when we talk about facilitation, we're talking about making it possible or easy or facilitating the behavior of our market and encouraging that behavior and taking advantage of when that marketplace is ready for the product or service by having it available to them. As we look at this, there's two kind of positions we can take. One is we want to be able to design a channel or a set of activities that will help bring the product or service to the marketplace. The other one, and the one that we'll focus on a little bit more in this video, is this idea that we want to think about the environment that is producing the opportunity for the marketplace to accept our product. So it's not just enough for us to bring a product to market. This is especially true with nonprofits. So, for instance, I may be an advocate for healthy diets, healthy dieting, and I can create a product and I can maybe make a service available and I can have a program and I can do all of that. But it's not going to really matter unless there are people who are ready to diet or ready to eat more healthy or ready to accept the burdens of maybe changing their eating habits. And so the occasion is not right then for my product or service. Even though the product and service exists, it's a matter of the public or the market hasn't gotten to the point where they need it or want it yet. Now, the question though is, how can I take advantage or use this information to be available to the marketplace when they do need it? How can I facilitate an occasion for it to happen? So in this context, then, occasions are attractive and convenient to ensure that when a product or service is available, that behavior ensues. So we want to think about having our products and services easy to access. Maybe we call it easy to accomplish or to take advantage of. We want to make sure that our products and services are emotionally positive and also rewarding and reinforcing. So when somebody does decide that they want to diet, then when they see our option, they see that it's easy to accomplish in a physical sense, that I can access this information easily. I can go to meetings easily. This product is available to me. It's at my home or whatever. It's easy to access or come in contact with. If I use this product or service, then emotionally it's going to be positive and I'm going to be supported and I'm going to be satisfied. And also there's a benefit behind it. And after I finish the program, the reinforcement of me eating healthy is going to continue over a long period of time. So it's like the occasion arises and we meet these three criteria, then the clients are much more likely to take part in our product or service because it'll be beneficial to them. Part of this taps into the BCOS model, and if you recall, we deal with benefits. And so what are the benefits that, or what are the positive aspects of the program that you can gain from receiving it? Costs, we want to minimize costs and expenses and the emotional cost, for instance, of joining a weight loss program or eating differently. We have others that we want to enhance and draw on, so connect the clients to behavioral influential others, the behavior of influential others. And then also finally we have self in the BCOS model. Emotionally, we want to connect the client's self-image to the behavior that they would otherwise have. So again, we're looking for the opportunities to either create exchange occasions or at least set our product or service up so that it is a very desirable option when an occasion for change occurs. So how can we do some of these things specifically? Well, let's talk about convenience in time. So when we talk about convenience and time, we're talking about having our product or service available when the client needs them. Sometimes we've referred this as time utility. That's kind of the traditional term that we think about from economics and marketing. But if the occasion occurs at midnight, we need to have our product available at midnight. If the occasion occurs in the afternoon, we have to have our product available in the afternoon. So convenience and time, or time utility, is an important way for us to be able to take advantage of an occasion, but it has to be when the occasion occurs. We also have convenience in location. So this is a similar concept of having our product or service available where the client needs them. So if somebody is having a craving for an afternoon snack and they know it's going to ruin their diet, then we have to have our program available to them where they are. And maybe it's a sticker that they put inside their car and it reminds them of the program they're on, or maybe it's a podcast that they can listen to real quickly while they're driving that helps reaffirm positive aspects of of the program. Or maybe it's a number they could call saying, hey, look, I'm in the car, I'd really like a cheeseburger. And they call a number and it's like a self-help type of a thing. So we're actually bringing our service and product to them at the time that they need in order for them to be able to manage and cope with whatever the situation is. So convenience of location, providing services where the customer needs them. Two other aspects that we'll bring up here: minimizing distractions. So when we think about distractions, we think about when people lose sight of their goal or lose sight of why they're doing their activity, lose sight of why they're losing, dieting. Well, I gave in and I went by Dairy Queen. And if I had only remembered that, I have this goal I'm trying to set. And, when I do think about that goal, then I have no desire to cheat on my diet. So in other words, I was distracted. I was thinking, my mental focus was elsewhere. And because of that, I was weak and I gave in and I needed to be more mentally stronger. So minimizing distractions is another aspect of enhancing occasions in which we can provide our benefits. And then finally, providing augments or support activities. So there's an idea in product development where products are layered, and there are three different layers to a product. And the very outside layer is something called product augmentations. Product augmentations help make using a product or a service easier than otherwise would be. Again, if we can add product augmentations, if we have, for instance, again, a dieting plan, and as part of the dieting plan, the client gets a meal kit once a day. So at least we know that there's one meal a day that's meeting the dietary requirements that they have. That's like an augmentation. Or maybe they have a poster, and every day that they complete a day of healthy eating, they get that poster. Something along those lines could certainly be kind of the idea here of making things available to them. We can also think about making things available to them, like kind of from a location standpoint. And the more points of contact that we can make, the better chance we have of being able to increase convenience and increase our presence within the marketplace. So consider a kind of a two-dimensional space that's outlined by cost and outlined by convenience. So when we think about this, we generally realize that as a service provider, the more convenience we offer, the more things cost us to provide. So in other words, there's a cost that as a service provider we have to incur in order to provide convenience of service. So this is kind of something we need to be concerned about, because we want to provide lots and lots of opportunities for the customer to be involved, because this takes advantage of behavioral opportunities, right? The occasions, we want to take advantage of these occasions, but we also need to be aware that there's a cost associated with adding convenience to the mix. So be pragmatic, in other words. While we want to be able to offer lots and lots of touch points and places where the customer can come in contact, we have to also balance that reality with this idea that there's a cost associated with distribution and the things that we're providing them. So just visually speaking, we have one large hospital. And if we did everything from that one large hospital, we only have the hospital to manage, and we don't have satellite locations or anything like that. That would run up our costs. However, the convenience of having everybody come to that one location is not particularly high. Consider maybe we have more locations. That increases the level of convenience, but we also have the operational costs of running 3 clinics as opposed to one hospital, or 3 hospitals or 3 locations, and we're basically duplicating a lot of work 3 times. So the costs are going to go up, but the convenience again rises even higher. Extrapolate this a little further and consider even more so, if we have more locations, that's great. It helps our consumer even better, but it also increases our costs. So there's a reality then of adding convenience, and this idea of adding convenience and augmented products to that of operational costs. Can a nonprofit increase convenience? Certainly by using partners to increase behavioral occasions. That's the question that we ultimately want to ask. And we got to manage this. Again, the topic here is how can we take advantage and create occasions for customers to be able to use our product and service. We have to deliver it, but we also need to deliver it when it's a convenient time for customers. And we, as a manager, then have to be very aware that we have to find low cost ways to have more frequent contact with customers and provide our service to them. Note the number of locations sometimes refers to the breadth of distribution. So if you hear a concept called breadth of distribution, what we think about is how many different partners we have in our channel, and how many different locations or points of contact we have that customers can come in contact with us. The more we have, the greater the internal cost of operation. And so that's just something to consider and be aware of. Okay, so this topic then, as we kind of wrap things up, we talked about what facilitating occasions means. So we want to facilitate a customer's use and interaction with our product or service at the time and place in which they need it, the occasion. So we're talking about an occasion here, and when they need us, we want to be available to them. We need to be able to make this behavior easier for them. And if you think about the BCOS model, think about how convenience comes into play when adding benefits and lowering costs come to a customer as they're deciding to use our product or service and whatnot. And then finally, we talked about cost, convenience, and breadth of the channel as we move forward. So bear in mind that as we look to take advantage of occasions, we have to do so really carefully to make sure that we're doing this cost effectively and that we're not using funding inappropriately and things like that, or wasting money, basically. Okay, so so this then wraps up this notion of facilitation and specifically facilitating occasions in which customers can reach out to us and use our product. So great. Have any questions, please let me know. Thanks.